So these are my PDC World Matchplay Darts Tournament predictions. So this is like the whole bracket. I think we'll go through from each game. So let's get straight into it. So start off then with Humphreys, Jim Van Veen, Danny Noppert first Cameron Menzies. Done for Humphreys and Noppert to get through them games in that one. Humphreys Van Veen, obviously I will speak more about it in my first round predictions, but quite a dangerous tie for Luke Humphreys in his title defence. Danny Noppert's composure. Danny Noppert's experience and composure will just overcome Cameron Menzies. Cameron Menzies is not got the mentality for me. He can use his head easily, Cameron Menzies. So yeah, Luke Humphreys versus Danny Noppert in that one. Arsenal, I don't think Nathan Arsenal versus James Wade. I think Wade beats an out of form Joe Cullen, but I think it'll be a close game because it depends which Wade turns up. And I think Arsenal beats Wessel Nyman, as much Wessel Nyman is obviously talented. Wessel Nyman has not shown his potential yet in these big tournaments, apart from the Transcend Darts, but he lost every game despite averaging over 100. And I think Arsenal slowly getting back to his best, as we saw in the Premier League as well. So I think Arsenal beats Wade. So I think Humphreys beats Noppert. I do think Humphreys gets to the semi-finals. He beats Arsenal in the quarter-finals as well. And I think Humphreys will play Johnny Curtin in the first in the first semi-final, because I think Bunton versus Wayne Choice, I think that will be a close game. To doors at sudden death, that one. Bunton's not the scoring, but Wayne Choice has got the finishing, in my opinion. Choice is a solid operator, and I think Choice will knock Bunton out, in my opinion, because he's quite a solid player. Arsenal versus Anderson versus Woodhouse. I think Anderson beats Woodhouse regardless what Anderson turns up, with all due respect to Woodhouse. I think Woodhouse needs to improve his scoring. If he improves his scoring, then you know what, he could knock Anderson out. But I think Anderson will always have the scoring power over Woodhouse. Then I think Anderson will beat Choice just on the scoring power for me. Then I think Anderson will play Johnny Curtin, and I actually think Johnny Curtin will beat Darry Anderson in that second quarter final, in my personal opinion. Now we'll move on to the other bracket then. So obviously I don't think Johnny Curtin to beat Martin Shinya. Could be a close game, but I think Curtin's still the better player for me. Chisnell versus Mike Detter could go either way. Depends what Dave Chisnell turns up. Every tournament we always do, is it finally the tournament for Dave Chisnell? And Mike Detter, since Mike Detter won the World Grand Prix, he's not been the same player, has he? Not been the same player. But I think Mike Detter does edge Dave Chisnell out there, and I do think Curtin will beat the Detter, in my opinion. UK versus Wayne Searle. That would do. Wayne Searle's got the storm power. He has got the storm power to cope with It's just the finishing that lets Wayne Searle down. So I think should get through, but you just never know, because Wayne Searle's got the storm power to cope with in my opinion. Peter White versus Jermaine Wattimena. Obviously they met each other at the World Darts Championship, and Peter White did win that, of course. It might be one of them for Peter White, where he might just turn up for this tournament, won't he? But I do fancy Wattimena to beat Peter White, because I still think Wattimena is in the better form than Peter White. So I think it'll be Yetta versus Wattimena, then I think Yetta will beat Wattimena. I think Yetta reaches the semi-finals, in my opinion. I think Yetta beats Damon Heta, because I think Damon Heta will beat Dildon. I think Rob Twats, despite Rob Twats is on and off form, I think he should still beat Dirk, in my opinion. But I think Damon Heta will beat Twats. And I think Damon Heta will be looking at this tournament thinking, if he can go far in this tournament, he's got a strong shout to be in the Premier League next year. Because, especially with his number 7 in the world as well, Damon Heta as well. So I think Damon Heta beats Rob Twats, but I think he does beat up Yetta. And I think Yetta will play Durham Price in the semi-finals, in the other semi-final. So I think the two Welsh players will get to the semis, the World Matchplay. Because I think Mike van Duren I think Van Doren beats Barney, but you know what? With the way Van Doren's playing at the moment, Barney's got a chance with the way Van Doren's playing at the moment, but I still expect Van Doren to get the win over win from Barneveld. Ross Smith versus Josh Watt, I think that's probably the tie of the first round for me. Two high power stalwarts, Ross Smith and Josh Watt. Could be the 180 record, couldn't it? But I think Josh Watt is in the better form than Ross Smith at the moment, so I think Josh Watt will beat Ross Smith. And I think Josh Watt beats Van Doren, in my opinion. I think he beats Van Doren in the asset scene. Because I'm not too convinced by Van Doren's performances. I'm more convinced by Josh Watt, and with Josh Watt winning the World Cup of Darts, as much as it is the World Cup of Darts, it's not really a major tournament. It should help him now get that winning feeling. Now finally reach his potential. In these upcoming major tournaments. So I think Josh Watt will reach the quarterfinals to play Darren Price. I think Petresto will beat Chris Dorby in a tiebreaker, in my opinion. Could go either way that day. Petresto, definitely a talented player, but I think Darren Price will beat Petresto. I think Darren Price will beat Dowderney in one of the ties of the first round with that potential. The battle of the wards, isn't it? Dowderney loves the divot, Darren Price loves the divot as well. The piasts on stage before in the Premier League of Darts. Obviously more respectful in the World Cup of Darts final between the two of them. So I think Price will just edge Durney out. I think that will be sudden death, that one. I can see that happening. Then I think Price beats Petresto. Then I think Price will beat Josh Watt, in my opinion. And then on to the final. I've done for Luke Humphries versus Luke. Yeah, I know it's boring, but I don't think you can do for any other final, can you? They are the two best players in the world right now, and I still think that will remain to be the case in this tournament. But I think Price and Caton, I do fancy them to have a good one at this tournament, in my opinion. Price is in good form, winning the Polar Stars Masters as well. Even though that's like a warm-up tournament, it's nothing serious, let's be real. So Price is in good form. Foreign finalist Darren Price as well. And Johnny Caton always gets written off every major tournament. I think he's just got everything about him, hasn't he, Johnny Caton? Johnny Caton started to find that form then that had the breakout year in 2021 when he won the 3 major tournaments. Well, when he won 3 tournaments, so he's starting to find that form again as well. Obviously, Josh Watt in good form as well. But in terms of the final, Luke Humphries versus Luke Yetter, the defending champion Luke Humphries versus Luke Yetter. I've done for Luke Yetter to get the win. I've done for Luke Yetter to win the World Matchplay. The World Matchplay Darts. Obviously, he got knocked down in the first round last year by Van Doren, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure it was Van Doren. So I think that I want to put that right. And every time it's done be Humphries versus the final, they always get the win over each other. Like one major tournament, Humphries will get the win. Another major tournament, will get the win. So I think will get the win this time over Humphries and wins the World Matchplay, in my opinion. But it's definitely between them two, isn't it? Definitely between them two. I think Humphries certainly suits on the format as well as does Yetter. I think the on format always suits the top players, doesn't it? If it's a short format, then it's probably the best time to play them. So feel free to leave your full tournament predictions down below in the comments. In the comments, and I'll see you all for the first round predictions for the World Matchplay Darts.